Okay, I'm going to demo a deployment with Docker on Railway. So first up, here's the deploy job we're going to use in our CircleCI config file. And spoiler alert, there's actually a typo in this YAML, but I thought I'd just show that anyway because this is typical fiddling that you go through when you're working with a CI. So I think this is a good illustrative example. I push this CI config tweak. I'm going to check out a branch called demo because that's what the filter works on in the CI config, so this will guarantee that the job runs. And then I'm going to make a change to the API version, so that's something we can check after the deployment. Commit that change. And I'm going to push this. And I would encourage you to follow along and do this in your forks. How to create your own fork and everything is explained in section 7. Okay, I'll open a pull request on the demo branch. And if we scroll down past all the commits, which are from another branch actually, you can see that the CI pipeline has failed. It says they're unable to pass YAML. And it's because I'm missing a colon here, which you need if you've got a filter. If it was a more complex mistake, then you'd open up CircleCI and look at the logs. So this kind of workflow is something to get used to. When you're getting a job just right, it's likely there'll be iterations of tweaking. Okay, I'll recommit with the correct YAML syntax and push. Again, make sure you're pushing to your fork so that you have control over the CI. This time round we can see our two jobs. There's the one from the previous section and our new section 8 deployment. So I'm going to cancel the section 7 deployment because we want to focus just on the new section 8 Docker deployment. Okay, cancel the section 7 deployment. And now if we look at the section 8 deployment, here we're spinning up the CI container, install Node.js, install the Railway CLI, and there it is running that railway up -- detach command, and looks like that's succeeded. So we can check the build logs in the Railway dashboard. I'll refresh the page here. If we open up our project, you can see there's a failure from a few seconds ago. Let's have a look at the build logs and see what went wrong. Okay, error, no matching distribution found for the TID regression model, that version. So what's happened there is we haven't set the pip extra index URL because now we're installing from GemFury, and so Railway needs to know how to access packages that are in our private index server. If anybody's getting anxiety about this, I've since disabled this token before publishing this video, so don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Okay, let's trigger another deployment here. We could push another empty commit or any commit to that branch and re-trigger this through CI, but we've already seen that the CI is kicking off this job, so I think it's pretty harmless to just trigger it directly here. This time round, it looks like the install is working. Yep, these look like the dependencies of our regression model. I'll skip ahead a bit in the video. Okay, it's publishing the image now after 46 seconds. Now it's pushing the image. Railway will have its own container registry for these images. Before we look at the deploy, I just want to scroll up to the top of the logs here and show you this using Dockerfile detected line in the logs. So this is where Railway tells us that it's a Docker deployment because it's auto-detected our Dockerfile. And there's our deploy logs showing the usual Uvicorn running. And this means we should now be able to visit our deployed application, and we'll do a check of the version. You'll recall in this pull request we made, we updated the version to be 0.0.6, so that's what we should see. Yep, there it is. So this deployment is looking good, but you might quite reasonably have the question, how's this different to what we did in section 7? And to answer that, if we go back to our CircleCI config and look at the specifics of the section 8 job, let's head up in the file where we run this deploy app container via Railway job. A few differences. Crucially, the run command CDs into section 8 deploying with containers, this higher level directory. And if we look what's in this directory, all there is the Dockerfile. And so Railway has some, quite a lot of abstraction here to help you out, because if it detects a Dockerfile in the directory that you're deploying from, then it will automatically build the Docker image and then trigger Docker run as well. So all that happens with this one simple Railway up detach command. And if you've used a tool like Heroku in the past, you'll recognize that that's actually quite a nice improvement, because with Heroku you had to build the image and then push that image to the Heroku container registry and then trigger a restart. So Railway's kind of combined all those steps into one here for you. So there's quite a lot of magic going on, but that's very powerful. If we were to run this command from the house prices API directory, we'd expect that instead of a Docker deployment, it would be a regular deployment using the proc file and the requirements txt. So that's the difference, and that may seem subtle, but there's actually a very significant difference between a Dockerized deployment and a non-Dockerized deployment like we did in section 7. And that difference will become much more apparent in the later sections of the course with AWS.